tuned the same, but also the viola is tuned the same with the cello is the octave higher. So this is like, Hi there, my name is Matt Small. I'm the artistic director and founder of Small Art Music Projects in San Francisco, where we've been hosting instrumental music workshops for kids and their families for a number of years. This is my daughter Rosie.
Hi.
And we've been working on these workshops for a number of years, and we wanted to show you some creative ways that you can replicate real instruments that we focused on in our workshops for your kids at home. So the first little invention that I wanted to show you was this little metal bowl and rubber band and chopstick drum simulation. So it's just a simple cooking metal bowl with rubber bands that are hooked all around the front in two directions, going up and going to the side, and you'll see the back of it looks like this. It's like a big cluster of rubber bands, and then you take two chopsticks and you just stick them inside the rubber bands, and it gives you a little drum that you can work on. So also have some chopsticks on the side as your drumsticks. And what we'll do is I'll show you, this is a couple real instruments. This is a hi-hat cymbal, and this is a normal tom-tom drum from the drum set. And this is like what you'd find from a street drummer. This is just a plastic tub that you can find at a hardware store. So the drum set is an American invention from the early part of the 1900s. Of course, cymbals and drums go way back into many traditions from around the world. But the modern drum set, of course, this is just a small little bit of it, but the modern drum set concept came about in New Orleans in America as people tried to create their own drum kits. So just to give you the sound of this. So the tom-tom drum, the little plastic tub, and the cymbal. So we wanted to talk about, for some different age groups, if you've got a kid who's about 0 to 3 years old, you can walk them through. One of the great things, there's sort of a STEAM and STEM part of making up this kind of instrument at home. So definitely include them in how you can make this drum simulation. It might be even more interesting too to include more rubber bands, and you could cover the whole thing so you're mimicking the tension of a drum head here, because there's tension on this. That's how you get sound from it with the tension from the rubber bands. And so let's go ahead and then if you've got a young kid, so just there's a way to do, if you want to just use this as a hand drum, you can just simply hit it with fingers. There's a sound you can make from flicking up the chopstick. Like that. So you can also use it while using a chopstick as your drumstick. So that's a little example, especially for a kid who's 0 to 3. They might have fun putting this together. When Rosie was little, she enjoyed just setting up a bunch of gear, trying it, playing 2 notes on it, and then taking it all apart and putting it away. So for a little kid, that might be fun. For kids who are about 3 to 8, you can start setting up a whole kind of drum kit at home for them. We've got here, to mimic the cymbal, we've got the top of a cooking pot. We've got 3 of them actually, 1, 2, 3. And then we've got just a simple plastic, like a plastic consumer thing from any kind of store that might hold a powder in it. And then there's 2 of those, and then there's a tea tin that has a metal top on it, which gives a slightly different sound than the plastic jar. And then we've got some small boxes here, which give a different kind of sound. There's a large one and a small one. So for kids who are 3 to 8, they might want to try to get a little bit advanced. Rosie, why don't you try playing on this, and we'll see how that goes. Give yourself a chance to play a little bit on the kit.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. Great. So that's you can just have your kid mess around, see how they're doing by playing around the kit. Let's do, as they start to get older, we might want to introduce a little bit of a more advanced concept of using a metronome, or once they're sort of comfortable playing on this kind of home kit, you could turn on one of their favorite recordings so they can have something to play along with rhythmically. So if I give you a tempo, why don't you do that same thing again, try to play along with the metronome. This is a little bit more advanced, like you'd be playing along with a recording. Great, great, great. So that's another level of complexity that you can add, is either having them play along with a recording, or these metronome is a kind of an easy, simple device. It's really helpful, and we'll be talking more in this video series about how you can use those. And also for an older kid, 8 and up, there's you could actually get a pair of drumsticks if you want. You know, any local store has them. This is a little drum practice pad that mimics the feel of a drum head. It gives you the bounce, and actually the little home invention also gives you a sense of the bounce of a stick. So if you use a real stick on it, it gives you a real sound. So Rosie, should we play around? Should we do a little round of the whole kit, see how we do? Okay, let's do one thing with the metronome. Let's try to do something. Yeah, let's do some call and response. So I'll play something and then you try to play it back, okay?
Okay.
This is also another thing that for a slightly older kid, maybe 5 and up, you could start trying to play something simple and have them repeat it. So call and response. Okay, now I'm going to use the cymbals. Okay, so try to get that. Good. That's great, that's great. So we can get more and more complicated with that. Let's do one more, slightly more complicated thing where you put on the metronome, you play on the metronome, and I'll play an offbeat to this.
Okay.
Nice, good. That's hard. You can hear in the beginning we're a little bit off, but then we got back on with the metronome, so that's kind of a fun, tricky thing to do. So that's your home drum set idea. These are the real drums, the cymbals, and the tom-tom drum. And then you can make your own rubber band bowl drum with the chopsticks, and the top of the what do you call those? The pots. The pots, cardboard boxes, and any kind of small tin. And have fun with that. Hope it works out. Thanks so much for listening. Bye. But also the old ones do the same cello as the octave higher. So this is the basically a viola. It's not a true cello sound. Same number of strings. Yeah, tuned the same. But also the old ones do the same cello as the octave higher. So this is the basically a